Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the golf cart build. We're putting a 460cc Predator performance motor in this Yamaha G1 golf cart. In the last part, or the part 1, we built and designed a battery tray, painted that. We designed and painted the mount to a gas tank. And then my brother designed a really nice master cylinder mount for the brakes. But in today's video, we have to figure out how to mount the motor, mount the axle, do chain, do actual bleed the brakes, and quite a bit more of painting and designing and stuff. But we're gonna get to work. I need to take off these tires and wheels and take off all the duct tape and put the real tires on. Bradley's working on making a motor mount, and then we're gonna try to mount up this axle.
So now that this surface, oh it's hot still, is all flat and ready to be welded on, I'm gonna start getting the motor mounts, or motor plate for the mount figured out. But it's a little too long, so just so we have plenty of room to dial it in, I'm going to cut them back here, and then we can really finalize the sizes.
Bradley's cutting up some cardboard. He's going to make a template for the motor mounts. He also got it kind of mocked up in here. I got the battery to fit even better, and then I started taking off the duct tape of the rims. I'm taking a break of that because that one alone took me an hour to do that. So I'm done with that for right now. I think I'm going to keep working on making some of these mounts more heavy duty and helping Bradley with the axle and stuff. So I'm going to start doing all that while he makes the motor mount. So one issue that some of you guys might have noticed is the gas tank is lower than where the motor is going to be, which means that the engine's not going to be able to pull fuel. So we're going to have to use something called a pulse pump. Now this is a pulse pump. It came with my 212 Predator motor, but you can find these on lawnmowers, on basically anything with a big motor like this. But basically, you have a pulse coming from either your crankcase or your valves that creates a suction that goes from one end of the tank to the carburetor that can suck fuel. So what I need to do is I need to take off the valve cover, drill and tap a hole to create suction right here, screw this in, and then we'll route a wire to a bracket I'll make to go to the pulse end of this pump, and then we'll be able to connect this to our fuel tank and then that to the carburetor. So I'm going to take off the valve cover, get to tapping that. I'm going to make a bracket that goes right here that I can mount this to, and then we should be good to go with that. So we started lining up the axle to see where it has to go, and we noticed we have to move the shock. So Bradley's going to cut off the shock mounts and try to save as much as he can. But we got the shock removed already. We just need to move it over about an inch and a half-ish. But he's going to cut that off, and then while he's doing that, I'm going to keep working on our pulse pump. So we just cut and bent a mount for one side of the axle, but while we're waiting for that to cool down because it's very hot, I had some parts show up for the motor. This is a 34mm PWK Nibby carburetor, but to mount that I need an intake adapter, which is what this is, but then the intake adapter also has a port for a pulse pump. So basically these two parts I'll be able to assemble the entire motor except the exhaust with. But I'm going to start mounting these up a little bit while we wait for that to cool down. And then I'll probably stop about halfway through to cut and bend the other mount. And then I'm going to start welding the rear end on. So I got the intake adapter, which also has the housing for the pulse pump. I got that mounted. I got the rubber boot mounted. And I got the carburetor mounted. Bad news is this happened. Basically, when I took off the governor plate, which holds this rod up, this rod fell into the motor. Like I watched it just fall and I heard it hit the case, which that's not normal. I think something was assembled or built wrong because I've taken off probably 15 of these governors and I've never had one just fall into the motor. They're still stuck from like a shaft or a pin or something. But it's not that big of a deal. I got it removed. This is the little governor rod, and I'm just gonna put some gasket maker around this, squish it back on, and bolt it down. So Bradley got these little mounts made. He still has to heat them up and then bend them in shape. But those are gonna taper out, and we're gonna set it on top of the old mount and then taper it out so it makes it wider for these old mounts. While he's doing that, we had our engine plate show up, and I'm gonna tack in this little extension, and then that seal piece is gonna be welded to this bar. But before I weld it to the frame, we need to mount the axle, which is why I'm only welding that one spot, because the motor is gonna have to be offset based off of where the sprocket's gonna be. So Bradley's gonna try to get that mounted up so that we can align the motor, but while he does that, I'm gonna try to bead this entire thing down the mount. Well, I would call that good enough for the top, so I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna weld the bottom just like that, and then we should be good to go. Alright, there we go. We got that plate all mounted up and welded. So Bradley bent up and cut these little, they kind of look like boom tubes, like NASCAR exhaust, but we might do that for the exhaust actually, but what we're gonna do is weld this in really nice and heavy, and then our axle is gonna mount under it, and then, I don't know, it doesn't look the greatest, but honestly doesn't look awful at all. But we're gonna get this thing welded in, do the same on the other side, and then we should be able to drill and mount the axle, and then I'll be able to mount the motor. I've been working on the motor. I've got some of the lines installed. I'm gonna have to go get different lines though, because these exhaust ports are really small. So I'm gonna have to figure something out there, but we'll make it work. But let's get this thing welded up. Alright, we got the axle mount tacked in. We got our ground wire wheel mounted. I'm gonna lay some beads kind of like those ones. We really need to get this super strong, because if this axle falls off to 50, it's not gonna go so good. So I'm gonna weld these things up, bottom, top, sides, and everything. So Bradley's gonna wire wheel it down, but we got both axle mounts mounted and welded. So now I think we're gonna blow out the entire bottom. We're gonna pick up all of our tools and start clean with mounting the axle. All right, we got the area mostly clean. The golf cart's looking really good. We do have to notch the frame a little bit on the right, so the disc brake fits. So Bradley's just gonna go ahead and start doing that. I'm still gonna clean up a little bit, put our floor back on, and do a little bit more work. And then once those are fully cooled down, we'll start mounting the axle. Well, look at that, guys. We got that tire mounted. Took a little bit of taking off the duct tape, but we're almost done with this one. We're gonna rip some of this off. This is basically all we're doing, is just ripping sheet after sheet into this pile. And then we'll get the other tire mounted, and then we'll be able to mount the tires to make sure the axle is centered, and then we'll mount the axle. Alright, I got all the duct tape off of the rim. We have a valve stem. This is literally just a normal car valve stem, but it works for these. Now we're going to use our little valve stem puller tool, majigger, screw this onto there. Now our valve stem is installed, and now we can go mount our tire with a few little crowbars, and we should be good to go. Alright, we got the tire on the rim. Now we're going to remove this little valve stem thingy so we can get more air in there, because we still have to get the tire on the bead. There we go. Watch it slowly. Alright, tires are mounted up. We are going to paint this little center hub thing because it's gold. But those little cap things will also make it look a little bit better. But when we're done mounting everything, I'll take these back off and paint that little bracket. But I think now me and Bradley are going to center the axle and then drill some holes to mount this thing. So it's kind of hard to explain what we're doing with this, but basically this is the old center hub of the old steering wheel, and we're trying to mount this racing steering wheel that I bought at a swap meet at Iola, but basically we still need this hub to tighten down because it has the correct splines for the steering shaft. So I'm going to clean this up. We're going to shave all this down because we had to cut it off, and then we're going to paint it silver to match the silver center of the steering wheel. And then I'll be able to tack the wheel onto this and then bolt this on and squish it all together. And then we should have a race steering wheel mounted on the golf cart. exhaust flange show up, which is what this little thing is. It's going to slide right onto the motor right there with the gasket, and then we should be able to attach this flexible exhaust pipe that will be able to trim and route right out the side. So I'm going to use that technique I showed you guys to get these little studs out, take the old gasket off, put the new one on, and then put the new mount on there. I set the motor in here so I can try to line up the chain and everything, but I ended up getting the pulse pump figured out and wired or connected. A lot of people were commenting and asking about how I'm going to pull fuel from the tank uphill to the carb. That's with a pulse pump. So this pulse pump uses pulse from the intake, which is what that port is going off of the intake, to use the suction to pull fuel in from the tank into the inlet and then out to the carburetor. So I have it all routed and connected, I guess, and then I have a safety fuel shut off just in case. So fuel off, fuel on. So everything should be good there. I got our little drain thingies, breathers on the frame right there. But I think now I'm going to continue drilling the holes for the axle, and then we'll be able to actually weld everything on. So now that the entire axle is mounted, we need to make sure that the chain is aligned so that I can weld on the motor plate. But to do so, we need a chain tensioner. So I had a chain tensioner show up. It's just a universal like mini bike chain tensioner that I'm going to cut up and mount onto the frame. And then once that's mounted, I can officially align the chain, and then we'll be able to weld on the entire motor mount the chain officially, mount the motor officially. And then once that's done, I should be able to easily mount the exhaust with the homemade clamp I'm going to make. And then I'll be able to do the brake caliper mount, and we're literally done. So we're on the final stretch here. I'm going to get back to work and see if we can get this thing finished today. So this is what the mounts are going to look like, or the rollers, I guess you could say. That'll just help everything kind of guide it and keep it all aligned. So now all I have to do is mount the motor, because I got that all welded up. Alright, here's a little progress update. We have gotten a lot done, and I mean like a lot. We have the golf cart lowered. It is on its own now. Like this thing, literally you barely touch it, it rolls. I used to never be able to push this golf cart by myself. Look at this. Just my thumb pushes the whole cart, and we haven't even greased the bearings yet. So that's awesome. Another thing that's awesome is the chain system. The entire chain system is connected, tightened. All the rollers are rolling, I guess. And then Bradley also did an amazing job again on the brake system. He got the brake caliper mounted. He got the brake line zip tied and all kind of out the way and routed. And then I topped off the motor with oil. I got a bolt in here to hold the washer to keep the clutch from sliding off. And then I also tapped this into the motor where the governor little rod used to be, because whenever I would turn it over, I could hear pressure coming out of it. So I tapped it, vacuumed out all the dust, RTV'd it in, tightened that down, and then I also masked off the rims, and I started painting the hub black, because I don't know if I've showed this, but the hubs are actually gold, and obviously that doesn't look the best. So I did the first base coat on that side, and then while I'm doing all that, Bradley is working on the throttle. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the throttle only goes halfway. When you full throttle the pedal all the way to the plastic, the slide only goes up halfway. So Bradley is extending the old throttle mount so that it can have more travel to pull the throttle all the way wide open. So we're going to start working on that together. We already got the wiring harness all mounted, and then we're going to be going to O'Reilly's for some battery leads, and then we literally have to bleed the brakes and we're done. So we're going to get back to work and see if we can finish this thing up soon. Well guys, I can now officially say that the golf cart is done. Well, an exception of the key. I have the key waiting over there because I have to solder one of the things back on. but literally everything else is done. I got the electric start to work. I rewired the harness. I had to run the harness right here, and the key is just going to be hanging there for a while because the little screw to mount the key broke into like 5 pieces, like the nut, and we don't have that size. So it's going to have to dangle there for now. But everything else is done. It's all cleaned up. All of the chain is tensioned. The brakes are bled and working. Battery is charged and charging, hopefully. Now all we have to do is plug in the key real quick and see if this thing will finally start. Again, I have never started this motor. I've never even tried to start it, and I've owned this thing for years. But I am so excited to get on the road with this, I guess you could say, or more so the trail. But I'm going to let the solder iron warm up. I'm going to solder the key back together, and then we should be good to go. So we have some good news and we have some bad news on the golf cart. The good news is literally every single thing is done except for one thing. The chain is done, the axle's mounted, brakes are bled, brakes are mounted, everything turns over, everything's good. Electric start works, battery's hooked up, fuel tank, pulse pump, everything works. Except it does not have spark for some reason. I spent at least 3 hours diagnosing why our electric start wouldn't work, because last night when I said we should be able to drive this, we then had an issue with the electric start not working. But I ended up figuring out one of the fuses were blown, so then I was able to fix the electric start, but I never tested for spark. And then when I tested to see if the kill switch would work, I realized that we didn't have spark in general. And then I decided to unplug the whole key system that I made, which would mean that the motor would give itself spark instead of depending on the key, and it still doesn't have spark, which means something internally or our ignition coil is bad or corroded or needs cleaned or something. So sadly, I think that's going to do it for today's episode, but stay tuned for part 3. Because part 3, I promise we're going to have this thing hopefully sliding around and finally running after weeks of building it. But we did get a lot done in this episode, actually. We got the entire motor mounted, chain system figured out, axle mounted, tires, wheels mounted, and all the brakes figured out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay tuned for part 3, and I'll see you guys next time.